It's been a crazy blockbuster budget in terms of the number of changes to personal finance and tax rates. Hi, this is Neil Borate. I am editor personal finance at Mint. I am joined today by CA Karan Batra of Chartered Club, and he's going to decode all of today's complexity for us. So Karan, let's focus today on capital gains tax, and let's go asset by asset. So if we can start first with stocks and equity mutual funds, if you can give us the long-term capital gains tax, short-term capital gains tax, and what the dividing line is. So here we have STCG, LTCG, and the holding period, right?
So the government says that earlier LTCG was taxed at 10%, which has now been increased to 12.5%.
Right. Long-term capital gains has gone up to 12.5. Short-term capital gains has also gone up
from 15 to 20%.
Yep. So this too has sent shockwaves in the market, and a lot of short-term traders, their lives have become quite difficult now.
Yes.
How about the holding period?
Holding period is the same. So earlier as well, short term was less than 1 year and long term was more than 1 year, that is 12 months.
Yeah.
Now that remains the same. There's no change in this.
Correct. So now this is for domestic equity, Indian equity.
Yes.
If you had to buy foreign stocks,
right,
what changes have happened there?
So for foreign stocks, the period of holding is 24 months instead of 12 months.
Yeah, that stays the same. Right?
Yes, that stays the same. The LTCG earlier was 20%. Now again it is 12.5%.
Correct. Although it was 20% with indexation.
Yes. Now it is without indexation.
Correct.
So government is doing away with the concept of indexation altogether.
Yeah, that is the big shocker of this budget.
Yes. Yes.
Especially for real estate. We'll talk about that in a while.
Yes.
Short term remains the same at slab rate.
Yes.
Right? Then we have debt mutual funds. So has there been any change?
No.
Right? No change. Then let's talk about gold, and then we'll turn to real estate. So gold, what has been the change?
So government basically says that now we are standardizing everything.
Yeah.
So more than 2 years, 12.5%.
Yeah.
Less than 2 years, slab rates.
Got it.
So it's not different for different asset classes. Government is standardizing everything.
Got it. So basically for gold, one is the holding period changes from 36 months to 24
months.
And instead of 20% with indexation, it becomes 12.5.
Yes.
So net, whether 12.5 is better than 20 with indexation depends on number of years of holding, etc.
Yes.
So with gold and foreign equity, it's debatable. With real estate, there's a clear-cut shocker. So we'll talk about that now. So Karan, let's assume that my house I have bought for 1 crore, right? I have bought this in 2010?
Say 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
And I sell it this year for 2.5 crores?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
2.5 CR in 2024.
Yes.
So my gain is 1.5 crores.
Yes.
Now earlier I would have been taxed on this at 20%, but with indexation.
Yes.
So it would not have been 20% of 1.5, but 20% of whatever the indexed value.
Yes.
So typically what would the indexed value of 1 crore be?
So this would be around 2 crores.
Got it. So this one becomes 2 crores.
Yes.
And sold at 2.5.
Yes.
So it would have been 50 lakhs and 20% of that, which is 10 lakhs.
Yes.
That would have been my tax.
Yes.
Now without indexation, where do we stand?
So without indexation, the gain is 1.5 crores. On that, it's a flat tax of 12.5%.
Right.
And this works to around 18.7 lakhs.
I see. So the tax has almost tripled in this example. It has doubled, almost doubled in this example.
Yeah.
And this is one case where we have taken a relatively short period. So real estate, you can have a multi-decade holding period, ancestral homes, land, etc.
Right.
Where the impact of this could be much, much bigger.
Yes. In some cases it would be beneficial, in others it would not be so beneficial.
Yeah.
So in cases where the real estate prices are not increasing, in those cases indexation benefit was better.
Right.
But as on date, where the prices are increases more than the inflation, then the new scheme is better. So in this example, if we see from 2010 to 2020, there was not much movement in real estate prices.
Correct. So that's where indexation helped quite a bit.
Yes.
And that's gone away. Okay.
Yes.
Any other significant changes that you see in this budget?
Apart from this,
So you had mentioned buyback.
Yes. So buybacks earlier, they were tax free in the hands of the individual, but the company used to pay a tax. But now it is taxed in the hands of the individual. And sadly, it is not taxed in the same nature. So if I'm holding an asset, it should be taxed in the nature of capital gains.
Right. So if I could just take a step back, why this change was done, there was a demand from the industry that in buyback, which is basically the company buying back its own shares from its own shareholders, if you tendered your shares to the company, you had no tax. It was totally tax free.
Yes.
If you chose not to tender, you remained a shareholder, then the company deducted tax on your behalf. Right. So it was kind of unfair to shareholders who chose to stay put. And this is an attempt to get rid of that anomaly. But you think it's made it even worse in a sense?
So what a lot of people were doing it, or a lot of promoters were doing it, if they had to declare dividends, they would have had to pay 30% tax plus cess plus surcharge. So they used to declare as buyback. And buyback, on the buyback, the company pays only around 18-20%, not more than that. So there was a tax arbitrage. Now they say even if there's a buyback, then also we'll tax it as dividends only. So instead of the company paying it, you pay it. Earlier the company was paying around 18-20%, but now you pay it at 30%. So that is what we feel is not so correct. So rather than tendering the shares in a buyback, it is better a person sells on the market. Because if I'm selling it on the market, capital gains tax is 12.5% only. I don't mind paying STT.
So basically it could freeze the buyback market.
Yes.
Obviously this is just the budget proposal. There will be debate, discussion, and there will be a final finance bill. But it's been quite a shocker this time.
Right. I mean, so many changes, so many surprises coming in during the year. I mean, this is not something that is happening before the year. So normally the budget comes in Feb, and everybody has time to prepare till April. Right. So if there's a real estate transaction which is underway, the person could have concluded in the next month. But here in this case, it has to happen today itself. So let's take this example only. The tax liability of the person is increasing from 10 lakhs to 18 lakhs. There's a 8 lakhs additional burden. He may refrain from selling the transaction, or the transaction could go in a tiffy.
Absolutely.
That is not something that we like.
All right, Karan, thank you so much for decoding this for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.